if y'all are ready to do this thing, I'd say let's do this thing.
As ready as I'm going to be.
I think we're
saying in hockey, let's do that hockey.
Let's do that. I've heard that before. Actually, there was a hockey game just yesterday, and right before they dropped the puck, they were like, let's do this hockey. That is true.
They really do. That is like the actual like in-house announcement, huh?
I think we do actually say let's play hockey in our arena, so it's not that much different.
I mean, it doesn't flow as well as play ball.
Yeah.
Or give a reaction to the action.
Ooh, I like that.
No, that's terrible. Don't do that.
It's football time.
Football!
Ball and feet.
Ball and feet. Oh, that sounds like a disease, much like the Fairly KickAss podcast. Hello, welcome in. You're all back again, and we still don't know why. We ask it every week, and every week you don't give us a straight answer. We'd really like to know, like what keeps you on the hook. It's not us, we know that.
No,
but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to give you some more of that very mediocre mid content that we are world famous for.
The show has officially been rated by the FDA as not good for pregnant ladies or children.
I'm shocked it took this long.
I mean, trials and such.
We should actually know this isn't a trial. This is maybe our most tried and true episode type that we do outside of our monthly reviews.
Right.
And that is our Billboard re-ranks / re-racks / reorders. We've called it every which thing you could think of over the years. But the concept has remained the same. Every year, Billboard puts out their year-end top 100, which is kind of an amalgamation of all of their top 100 charts throughout the year, all the individual charts, all the weekly charts. They all get slapped together for like one chart to rule them all kind of vibe. And then we look at them and say, no, all of these are incorrect. And we fix them.
True.
Mostly because on any average given year, these charts, which apparently rate the popularity of songs amongst the American public, display just how incorrect the American public can be when it comes to listening habits.
Yeah. Yeah, they real bad.
And we are them. I assume with some of these, we are them and they are us, and we are all here together slogging through a year that I would love to get your opinions on. And it is the year, it's the very distant year apparently, which, good Lord, of 2002.
Oh, God.
This was, I think, by far the one list that we've done, and we've done a few dozen of these now. I knew more songs without having to like listen to them or think about them on this list than I have on any other list we've done. And I'm kind of sad about that.
I would argue that that's a benefit to this list, that you didn't have to listen to them. Dude,
You're not wrong.
In 2002, I was hip deep in my indie elitist mode. So I did have to listen to a lot of this list. And I don't love that for me.
Yeah, I would feel, just looking through the list, Jay, I feel like you might have intersected with like one artist, but certainly not the song of said artist.
So
probably some of their earlier work.
Yeah, I would imagine. Well, yeah, I mean, the artists. And here's the thing. I knew all of these songs, or most of these songs, in passing anyhow, because a lot of them, it was hard to avoid. And believe me, I tried. I would say the funnest thing about this is the sheer, for lack of a better way of phrasing what this chart was like for me, I will just call it the jaw ruliest chart that has ever been.
Murder Inc. How sick of you are Murder fucking Inc. by now?
I wasn't really keeping track of it, but it had to have been like half this chart, right? Like Ja Rule was everywhere.
Everywhere. Even in some tracks where he wasn't credited, like he still showed up on the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
that, but I don't remember which song that is.
Gosh, there were a couple that, like, I think a few of the Ashanti songs where he just like randomly Ja Rule, like whispering, like, no, get up, go away. You're not
this one, you don't have to be on everything.
You have your own.
That's right.
Oh, it was Happy Ashanti.
Yeah.
I just wrote in a random show of Murder Inc. Solidarity.
Oh gosh, brand awareness. I mean, he gets an A+ for that.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Dan, I know that you and I intersected quite a bit during this time period because we were in in school at the same time and in school at the same school at the same time. So, and hung out a lot, listened to a lot of the same shit.
Good Lord. We did graduate this year, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
Indeed, we did.
Wow.
So this was half
Shout
high
out
school,
class of
half
02?
college. Class of 02 represent. How did this list, like, was it like a hit of nostalgia for you? And if it was it like, aw, or was it more like, ew?
I am going to, and maybe this is a benefit to this for content and such, did not have the same reaction that apparently the two of you did to this list at all. Because it sat, this little group of years that were the late 90s, early 2000s, sat in a certain area of my brain where we kind of agreed that we're like, yeah, let's not do that again. And then going back and re-listening to this stuff made me go, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was, really. Like I was expecting just a 100 song pile of crap, and there's crap here. Don't get me wrong. There's crap here, but not the extent of crap that I expected. Like, I expected to be reviled for all but like the top 5 songs, and that wasn't the case at all.
And I would agree with that.
100%. Yeah.
Honestly, just for the sake of laying all the cards on the table, there are 4 songs that I chose not to rate.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we got a strong top 96 between the three of us.
I will say with that, I chose to omit involvement on one. Like I was just like, nah, he wasn't a feature on that thing. And then just stuck everything else in one bottom tier. Like this all just sits here for the sake of keeping everything in order. But I ain't
like the F
minus. Yeah. Just these are all here. Yeah.
That's fair.
Just marked them at 0 points and they can show up at the bottom of the list.
No pois. Now fuck off.
You get no pois.
Well, cool. I'm excited. Let's, how do we want to dig into it? Who's going first today?
Well, we will leave it up to a natural random number generator for once because I have a set of dice right beside me.
Okay.
So we'll do this analog style. 1 and 2 is Dan, 3 and 4 is you, Jay, and 5 and 6 are me.
And you rolled a crit fail.
It isn't. It's close to a crit fail. It is a 2. So Dan, you will go first. 6, which will be me, and then of course Jay will go next. We'll go last, rather. Yeah, quick note on the format. We like to go with our 10 through 6 on this re-rank list, kind of in rapid fire order. And then we'll go in around for our 5 through 2. We'll head to the bottom of the list because we got to hit the bottom for our bottom 5, which we'll touch on to varying degrees. Sometimes we tend to go a little bit ham with these. It depends on our mood. And then we'll spring back to the top for the very end to end on a high note with our number 1s. So
I may have
go ahead.
Bottom 10, just so you know.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, sometimes we do a bottom 10 because sometimes it deserves a bottom 10. But we will cross that bridge here in just a few minutes. Before we do, we got the higher part of the list to deal with. So Dan, hit us with your 10 through 6, and then go into your number 5.
I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna hit you with what would technically be 10B through 5.
Hell yeah.
And what would be 10B? This is the part where I wish I could just play you sounds, and you would know what I'm saying when I say that it was just 44 notes, and that's all it took to write the millennial anthem. And that does have to be acknowledged. Well, it would be 10B or 11, I guess, if you want to get technical. Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 Years. Look, the song is great just outside the intro. You can't underestimate that drawing power of the opening piano line, especially to those of a certain age, which are us, that age of really starting to complain about joint pain in lieu of having arguments. Well, I'd readjust because my knee's starting to bother me. I'll jump into number 10 with Jimmy Eat World and The Middle. And what could have been written off as one of the earliest winners of the indie rock chart sweepstakes, The Middle became one of the catchiest, not just catchiest rock songs, but catchiest songs of the decade. And to its credit, in the scene of second or third wave emo, depending on where you want to draw your borders on that, this also has one of those positive messages of any song of that era. Move to number 9 because it comes with Outkast and Killer Mike and The Whole World. This expansive and swinging, introspective masterpiece makes me really miss Outkast and value what they gave us in their short time as a duo even more. And number 8, I know we've talked quite a bit about the vocal prowess of one Mr. Usher Raymond IV. And I believe we also talked about his one best song, which you totally scroll backwards in your podcast app of choice and check that out when you're done with this one. But You Got It Bad stands out as a monument to the slow-burning ballad that many try, but few have perfected. An anthem for catching feelings when that was totally not what you were going for. It keeps a tight, solid hook and then lets Usher just dance all over the verses. Number 7 is another laid-back classic, perfect for this time of year or almost this time of year. Some summertime smooth backyard jamming. It's Eve and Alicia Keys coming in with Gangsta Lovin'. And I just love the role reversal in the lyrics of this one and the perfect vocal balancing between the two. Speaking of Alicia, she comes in at number 6 with A Woman's Worth, the follow-up to her smash breakout hit Fallen, which is another beautiful slice of piano-driven neo-soul and contains quite an underrated bass line as well, which leads me to number 5. And it's weird, but I guess everything does come around again, especially when it comes to musical trends. So right now we think of a throwback track and we'll think of it as something trying to, well, it's in really 2 eras, but you got to go 20 to 30 years back. So you're either trying to emulate the sounds of the disco scene or you're trying to emulate the sounds of the era that we're talking about tonight. But a throwback in '02 would have been going back to the 80s, which would take you into the roots of hip hop, which is something that Missy Elliott mastered for a track that tied a record on the Billboard Hot 100 because it was sitting at number 2 for 10 straight weeks, matching a mark set by Foreigner and Waiting for a Girl Like You in 1981. In my brain, I delivered that in my Casey Kasem impression, and then my brain didn't tell me, hey, you have to do a thing if you're going to do the impression. So, but composing it that signature sound with multiple mid-'80s samples, Work It from Missy put together the old school sound and her new school power to create her highest charting single. And who can resist this song's fun and odd and sexy energy? Missy picks up right where she left off in Get Your Freak On, switching up the pace a bit, but hammering home all of that energy and innuendo that its predecessor contained. And of course, you can't forget the unique sound of the hook with that infamous reverse line. That might be the first thing most remember when you mention this song. But that alone shouldn't diminish the power Elliott displayed in reclaiming the genre of filthy rap for female rappers and taking that into a whole new direction. Oh, and also introducing the word badonkadonk to the mainstream. So, I mean, you have a achievement of another stripe there as well.
Man, it is a reminder to me, and I had made a mental note to talk about this fact, and thankfully you mentioned it because I think I would have overlooked it. But Jay, as you kind of discussed how this was the Ja Ruleiest re-rank that we've ever done, this was also the Timbalandiest re-rank that perhaps we've ever done. One of those things is a good thing. At least it was in 2002. You could spot a Timbaland beat from a mile away. And that's not to say that it's bad or that it's all samey, but there's just such a distinct style. And, this is Missy's track. Don't get me wrong. I'm not at all trying to say that anything to the contrary. Missy obviously killed it, both with the music and the choreo in the music video was just chef's kiss. But Tim giving the foundation was also, a very cool and very important part of it too.
Yeah, I have no notes about your list, actually. In a rare turn of events for us, the lowest I have anything you said is at 32.
Holy shit. Maybe we're not as off as I thought we were. Although, no, I think there's a good chance our bottoms are going to align pretty well.
Yeah, I've got, let's see, Whole World is at 16. I've got 1,000 Miles, and You Got It Bad at 31 and 32. I'm right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the.
I'll admit to be a sucker for a piano bar, so that might have something to do with it too. I don't know.
Gangsta Lovin' at 22.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one that's super low. 1,000 Miles 26, The Whole World 23. So all of them right around the same area.
Well, maybe this won't be as interesting a show as we thought we might have.
I'll throw a curveball at us. At least one.
Okay. All right. As long as you have one curve to throw.
How about Zach? What do you have in the pipeline?
I think I might have some curveballs as well to throw, and also in a very rare, stunning turn of events, I also, Dan, have a tie at number 10. I rarely have ties, but I feel like for these two songs, I could not decouple them. A, because they are very similar, and B, because they are by the same artist and the same featuring artist. That being 10A of Oh Boy, 10B of Hey Ma by Cameron featuring Jewel Santana. Shout out Dipset. Shout out Freaky Zeke, I guess, who's on the hook for Hey Ma, but he's kind of not necessary. Cameron and Jules are certainly the stars of this particular show. Number 9, we've got In the End by Linkin Park. Quintessential Linkin Park track, especially early Linkin Park, early in their catalog. Chester and Mike do their thing perfectly in the vocals, as they had done so many times prior and so many times since. And the instruments are just hard enough to accent the song without going too far overboard. Number 8, Avril Lavigne with Complicated. Avril, not Melissa, you monsters, you know who you are. Avril gave us a fun pop punk bop that will always get me trying to hit those higher notes while I'm singing in the car. At number 7, Jimmy Eat World with The Middle. They did kind of the same thing that Avril Lavigne did, just maybe with a little bit less punk and a little bit more pop. The second act for the band, which we've already talked about today. But, that second act did fairly well for them overall. In the middle was certainly the crown jewel in that particular empire for them. And at number 6, Superman It's Not Easy by Five for Fighting. It's a soft, gentle, and lovely track to the point where it almost sounds exhausted, which matches perfectly with the subject matter of the song. And we go directly from that into my number 5, which was a single that was sadly and quite unexpectedly a posthumous release. It's sad, and I'm not going to dwell on this too much because I think we have certainly in the past, and certainly anyone who has intersected with Aaliyah's music has also had that same sort of, I guess, negative, sad vibe just from losing her so early at the age of 22. But we also have to remember in the brief time that she was here, she did some excellent, excellent work. And More Than a Woman was right up there with some of the best work that she had done. It is vocally perfect. It is sultry and sweet and melodic in all the right ways, all at the same time. The aforementioned Timbaland does his thing in the production, and it is exactly what the song needs. But just like Work It is every bit of a Missy Elliott song, More Than a Woman is every bit of an Aaliyah song. It showcased just how much vocal maturity and how much just maturity as an artist she had in at such an early age. And it's in a vacuum, it's just a really, really cool, really well done song all the way around.
Okay, so some discrepancy here.
Yes, thank goodness.
Differences.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, no kidding. I did have Avril Lavigne up at 12.
Nice.
We'll get into a couple of the others here shortly. I have Cameron at 38 and 43, respectively. Five for Fighting at 67, and Aaliyah at 68.
I am shocked that Cameron was so high for you, honestly. I thought those two might be in the bottom 5, bottom 10.
No, they're not. They're not bad. And that's honestly a thing with the Aaliyah and the Five for Fighting too. It's not that they're bad.
Yeah.
It's that I don't care about them. And part of that is Timbaland's fault with Aaliyah, because she's great and her voice is really good, but you can barely hear it.
Yeah.
The beats are they're too big for what they did together on that song, and it didn't work for me.
Which is not the only case where I heard that. I'm trying to remember another song that I thought distinctly exactly that. Like the mix was just too loud in every aspect except for the vocals.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just indicative more of the times too. I don't know. But yeah, I 100% agree with you.
I have much fewer discrepancies. Because of that group, the lowest I have is Hey Ma at 26, with the exception of Five for Fighting down at 72.
Yeah, that's one of the lower ones. I knew that was coming too.
And even trying to put aside any of the personal thing I have in the experience with the artist, it's not that I don't care. But it's just that I can think of like off the top of my head like 5 or 7 other artists doing the piano thing that they're doing it so much better. And they also don't sound like they vocally are one of those squeezed chickens tuned all the way down to D.
He's an automaton. You know, one of those little mouths.
You know?
Oh gosh, I would have a retort if I had a retort, but I cannot dispute any of that. That's so. I don't know if it was like supposed to be a jaunty tune, but at least like it sounds it's a snore job, but I feel like it's like thematically supposed to be. But that also doesn't make a good song, I concede.
I guess. I mean,
you don't have to concede. You're allowed to like the songs you pick.
Sure, you totally are. Like if Dave Matthews on Quaaludes is a sound that you dig, like go for it.
That actually sounds pretty rad. Gravedigger would sound so different.
Is that what happens? You take 5 for Fighting and slow it down like you do, like Sam Smith and Adele.
Oh shit. Jay, I am very interested. I feel like the curveballs you have are going to be fairly curvy.
Well, some of this is going to be pretty obvious. So we'll start with my number 10, which is No More Drama, Mary J. Blige. Mary kicks some serious ass. I don't think it's anybody's surprised to hear her on here. Number 9, Move Bitch. So listen, Luda goes hard, and no one goes harder than Mystical. And it doesn't really matter that they never say anything or mean anything or intend anything. Just move, bitch. That's it. At number 8, I put Hands Clean by Alanis Morissette because it's probably the best tune about a silence pact between 2 criminals that I've ever heard. Also, I really want to know what they did. It did lose a couple of points for me. It might have been higher because of how vain Alanis got about like marrying him as long as he keeps his firm body. Like that was a bit much for me, but that's not a personal response at all as I pat my belly. At number 7, Days Go By Dirty Vegas. I'm kind of as surprised as you the song's here, but these are the facts. This is probably the best bass line on this chart. It is an ever-building, pulsating dance beat and a simple, if repetitive, vocal line that just oozes cool. At number 6, I have Work It by Missy Elliott. Just fire. Bumped up more by the music video. Missy has undeniable swagger. No notes. And number 5 has also already been talked about a little bit. It's The Middle, Jimmy Eat World. I think it earns its place here because it is one of the most perfectly engineered pep talks in pop rock history. Like, he takes insecurity, rejection, awkwardness, and blasts them through guitars that are so bright they practically come from motivational stickers. The genius behind it is it doesn't feel cloying. It's too fast, too punchy, and too genuinely kind to be cornball. Jimmy Eat World made a song that sounds like you're grabbing somebody by the shoulders and saying, "You're fine, stop spiraling." But there's like this hook that's strong enough to survive decades of grocery stores, teen movies, and emotional emergencies. It's perfectly poppy, sing-alongable, and it's the bread and butter for every cover band since.
It is, I think you nailed it with The Middle, just how wide ranging it is. Not just how popular it is, obviously it is, but just how you can hear it at the grocery store, but also you can think about it in a much more, serious, emotive context. And like, is that the same song I just heard in the Walmart a few minutes ago? And it fit in the Walmart just as well as it does as the more strongly emotive song. Very good track. Days Go By. Yeah, I was also surprised to see that on your list, but no complaints there. That is the track that like every time I hear it, I was like, why wasn't Moby this? Moby could have been this. And yet he was not. And at least one of your other tracks we'll talk about later.
Yay! I know which one.
Yeah, I think we do. The 2 things I don't have anything too much to add because the lowest I had Move Bitch down all the way at 31, and that's only because he had another one that year that went harder, so that was up a little higher. But I was also taken aback when I got done and made the numbers just how high Dirty Vegas was. For me, it was 17 too. Yeah. And I went, wow, okay, because there's something about just that solid dance beat.
Yeah.
And to back up exactly what you said about The Middle, to add one last thing to it, it was one of the first tracks that I absolutely put on this here playlist that I had to look up to make sure I got the name of it right when I started the set list of the old man pop punk emo cover band I've started in my dreams.
I will need that playlist immediately.
Yep.
Awesome start so far. Yeah, very, very little in the way of disputes, I think. Which we need to stop with all the agreements and really kind of get some more curveballs in here. Yeah, Dan, so do you have one in mind maybe for your number 4?
Maybe. I'll have to see how y'all feel about that.
Nice.
And it's a really short because I don't have any justification for putting it up here. There's not a ton to be said about my number 4 song aside from not listing all of its features, because it made it this high in the ratings simply because it's one of the most fun tracks of the year. There's no way to deny its infectious beat, its all-out party energy, and the indefatigable tour de force that is Busta Rhymes. Of course, number 4 is Past the Cavassier Part 2. And like I said, I that's all that really needs to be said. It's a fun song. It's a party song. It is a song that dares you not to move and then yells at you if you, in fact, are not moving. The Neptunes were doing some of their best production work at this point, for the most part, and this is a prime example of that.
Yeah, I'll say, unfortunately, that's one of the songs that I didn't score because of who is one of those artists that featured on there. But I did write in the note for it, God damn it, it has not hurt this much to mark a song at 0 points.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Busta. Like, what can you say about? He's just so him, you know.
That's it. It's Busta. What else do you can't? The man is his own adjective.
But yeah, it is absolutely not going to come to me. But you know, it is going to come to me. It's my number 4. So it's unremarkable, to be perfectly fair. But the song is A New Day Has Come by Celine Dion. Again, it's not unique. It's not bombastic. Lyrically, it's fine. But it is so perfectly Celine that I just thought that it deserved a spot on this list. The way that it almost is more impressive that this song is so flat by itself, that she's able to croon and belt and breathe life into a song that for many, maybe any other artist, would just be a throwaway. It would just be passed over. But obviously, when you're dealing with someone as legendary as Celine is, someone who can put nuance into every word, someone who can draw power in the notes where they need to be, it's just so pure is the one note that I wrote that I actually want to keep because I do like it. There's no need for any bells. There's no need for any whistles. The production is minimal, but Celine just absolutely nails, as she has done many, many times, you know, prior to this as well. So nothing unexpected whatsoever, but is it one of her best songs? Of course not. But it is a song that I feel like did deserve its slot much higher than it was originally, which was 91 on the year-end chart. I thought 4 felt a little more fair for A New Day's Come.
Here's what I wrote about it. Admiration, respect, etc., but blah. I have it at 73.
Yeah, no notes for now.
Ooh, I like.
Or do you not like?
I think it's going to be the latter, but I'm okay with that. Jay, are you okay with your number 4? I'd assume you are.
I'm okay with my number 4. I don't know if you're going to be okay with my number 4. Actually, I know you're going to be okay with my number 4. It's the other big Mary J. Blige track from this chart, it's Family Affair. I think it belongs here at number 4 because it is just pure, frictionless cool. And I got real weird in this write-up, in my notes for it. I wrote, it doesn't start the party as much as it authorizes it. Dre's production on here is sleek, it's minimal, it's all like low-end glide and hypnotic snap, and it leaves Mary with able to do exactly what only she can do. And she's commanding, she's joyful, she's relaxed, she's completely untouchable. I wrote, these are just the bullet points. I wrote celebratory, not messy, polished, not sterile, huge, without breaking a sweat. Bottom line here is Family Affairs like grown folks club music, but it still has its pop instincts. So it's this rare hit that can fill a dance floor and still sound like it wants a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I think I agree with with all of that. Because as I've never heard of a song described in the ways you did, but it somehow was the perfect description for a family affair. Because I took everything you said and I thought, yeah, this does authorize the party. I didn't know that was a thing that happened, but if anyone was going to authorize a party, Mary J would be the one to do it.
Stamp of approval.
It really is. Everything that you just said was right on. It is the permission not just to party, but just let it all go. Just relax and just jump into the flow of the evening. And here's like 90,000 unforgettable hooks in this one tight packed into this song to help push you to that feeling of bug it all.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Good pick. Good pick. Do we swing back around to Dan for number 3?
I do.
You sure? Sure. And Dan could break the fourth wall and explain that he's an idiot because he writes this thing as one giant essay, basically, forgetting that there are 2 other people who will have told you about a song before I get back to me. So when I write the opening line of this, speaking of being at the top of your game, it's been like 5 minutes since I was speaking about being at the top of anybody's game. So pretending that we had just said something about being at the top of their game, one of the greatest songs in hip hop comes in at number 3 as an artist found the ideal crossroad of writing, production, and avenue for promotion that made is one of his best ever. No, that they all don't. That doesn't all make sense for a complete metaphor. Just let it go. Crafting an autobiographical story around some tight synths and a signature guitar chug that became the theme song for his also mostly autobiographical acting debut that put Eminem at the forefront of the mainstream in 2002 with a juggernaut that stayed at number 1 for 12 weeks and also topped the charts in 19 other countries. And to say that Lose Yourself is a heavy hitter of the decade is an absolute understatement. Like I said, it's the signature chugging guitar sound was the chassis, and some of Eminem's tightest deliveries are the fuel in this absolute rocket of a track. It's intense. This is peak Slim Shady. But we knew that's what we get from an M single at this point. There's just something about the energy on this one that pushes his natural aggressiveness over the top. And clearly it caught on with many, many people. It remains one of the most streamed songs of all time, aside from its chart accomplishments, as well as a pair of Grammys and a frickin' Oscar for the effort. And this, by the way, is the reason Work It couldn't break through to number 1, which, I mean, I guess it's not bad to come second to the one of best of all time. I guess it doesn't hurt that bad, right?
Yeah, I have it at 15. Just wrote, hands down, it's his best song.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through my list to find it, but I know it's somewhere up towards the top of it. There's no arguments whatsoever. Oh, there it is, 14. Yep, right there, as expected. I don't think that he has done much better in his career. I think he has done much worse in his career.
Done much worse.
Oh, yeah.
More to come on that.
We're only a few years away from Encore.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
We're only a few years removed from some of the ass that he put out before that.
Mm-hmm.
Touche.
Well, I think my number 3 is going to be more Lose Yourself and less fill in the blank shitty Eminem song. There are 100 of them you can pick. It's one that has already been, I believe this was already mentioned in one of your honorable mentions. It is the cheesiest love song on this list. One of the cheesiest love songs of the aughts, but also one of the kind of weirdly best love songs of the aughts as well. It somehow snakes around the cheesiness and comes back to a certain sincerity, a certain emotion, a certain feeling. And I think a lot of that feeling is something that a lot of folks, especially folks of our age, have shared around the time that song came out. Like there's always that, like, you know, pining for the love of someone else song, or, you know, the song of having a companion that you call on the phone. Kids, let us know on social media if you don't know what phone is, and we'll clue you in on that. But sometimes you're talking and you hang up and then you call right back. I've done it. I've done it several times in my youth. Usher has also done it in You Got It Bad. For me, definitely the most nostalgia hit of any of the other tracks on this list. A track that I don't know that I necessarily would feel as strongly about in my 40s, but certainly remembering me as an 18-year-old, yeah, this song very much hit and very much checked all of those boxes way back when in 2002. I do wonder, for other folks, I don't think this would necessarily be like the prom song, certainly not like a graduation song, but I think certainly one that would end up on a lot of, if playlists were a thing in 2002, if they had been invented yet, I think this song would have ended up on a lot of like playlists where the title of the playlist was just like 3 heart emojis, and it would have belonged there.
You have to go back a little farther. We were had advanced from the original concept, because at this point we were making mixtape CDs.
Oh god,
this would have ended up on so many burned CDs that were passed back and forth in high school hallways
that were drawn on in faded Sharpie with 3 heart emojis.
Yes, there you go.
Sharpie was immediately the word that came to mind when Dan started talking about CDs. So yeah, right there with you.
And even it's kind of funnier that it's also sort of a true story, or at least the sentiment of the whole song is a true story. Because I don't know if you've ever heard Jermaine Dupri talk about this, but he said in interviews that like he actually shut Usher down one night trying to do recording because he was that distracted by whomever he had it that bad for.
Yeah.
And they went, you know what? Actually, hang on. I think we got an idea here.
Jermaine cooked, man. Jermaine cooked back then.
Right?
Yeah. I give that one an edge over a lot of the other bland-ish R&B stuff on this list. It's at 32. I said that when Dan mentioned it, but that ripping guitar solo kind of edges it over.
Oh yeah.
But to your point that you made mention earlier, this is nowhere near the cheesiest love song of the year.
I would put it in the race. I'm curious to hear.
I don't know if I'd call it cheesy though. Like
it like I said, it's cheesy, but it's so cheesy. It would be more cheesy if it wasn't so sincere, if you didn't get the emotion from Usher in it. If I sang it, it'd be cheesy.
I think that's fair to say.
To see if I can find the cheese.
It might be one of the more innocent songs that could fall into the subgenre of sex funk.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, oozing cheese. How about Kylie Minogue? Can't get you out of my head.
That's pretty cheese. That's a strong contender.
That's strong. Yeah, that works.
Anyway, cool.
There is plenty of fromage to go around this year. Is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
we.
I'm gonna go. So my number 3. I'm gonna throw this out there. I put it here because I feel like someone, and I'm gonna name who in a moment, but someone built a club track out of a malfunctioning doorbell, a laser pointer, and pure nerve. That would be the Neptunes. Did the beat. It's absurdly minimal and impossible to ignore, leaving NORE enough room to plow through with swagger on nothing. Listen, he runs through all this empty space like he owns the building and forgot to pay rent on purpose. It's weird. It's funny. It's menacing. It's catchy. It is deeply 2002 in the most flattering way. The hook barely has to do anything because the beat has already colonized your brain. It's kind of for me, it's sort of peak. How is this a hit? Music, which in this case is probably the best kind of hit.
I love this song so much. I try to think of something like fun or creative to say. I've always loved this song. I love the song in 2002. I love the song in 2026. It is, it's just so, it's of its time as a rap song. It truly is of its time.
Yeah.
But I say that with reverence and not like turning my nose at it.
Yeah. The whole second verse is like my favorite thing in the song.
I have absolutely no argument to what you were saying, because like the beat alone is what I remember for this song. Like the hook is kind of there in my head, but the beat, like you said, it's so different while also being the most 2002 thing I could think of, that it ended up in a pack of a whole bunch of other stuff, and it ended right where like it didn't move on the chart. I had it at 37 that finished the chart at 37. And it's only that low because it's in with a bunch of other stuff.
Well, honestly, I think what bumped it way up for me is that line in that same verse, that second verse I was talking about, where he says, I'm trying to remember how it goes. It's like, I try and chill, sell more records than Creed. Nailed it. Like, I can't. Like, that's it. That's where we are.
Yeah, like shouting out Creed and Smash Mouth in the same song, and it's a rap song. Like Chef's
Melvin
Kiss.
Flint.
Chef's absolute kiss. Also, I appreciate the lyric where he says da 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 da, and then he says it again, and it's still somehow hot. This should be dumb as shit, but it sounds great.
Right? I love it.
Oh, good pick. Yeah, that was number 19 for me also.
Nice.
And I feel like I ranked it too low.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel like I ranked it too low. Shit.
Three is where it belonged for me. I was hitting it.
Nice. Dan, why don't you go ahead and hit us with your number 2?
Okay. And it has the advantage of already being mentioned, but I'm going to mention it a whole lot more. But I think I'm also working up to a theme here at the top of my list. And that'll be one of emotion. Lose Yourself. That was intense and deep. And at number 2 is a raw, open, and pained exclamation or re-exclamation of one's life, if you will. A message to the demons that they're no longer going to be in control, and that Mary J. Blige here is here to reclaim her story. At number 2 is the cathartic hurricane that is No More Drama. Could there be a better way to frame a track like this than to open and use the sample of the theme for The Young and the Restless? For our younger listeners, that was a show from back at a time when TV soap operas dominated the daytime network schedules. And a TV network used to be this thing. There was like only like 4 of them for a little while, and everybody watched them instead of, we're not that old.
I am. Dude, I remember when Fox became a network.
That was like 87.
89. No, 87.
Whatever.
You're right.
Yeah, 87.
You're right.
But what I will say about soap operas, it was TikTok drama just in daily hour-long chunks, and also not real, and only minorly less stupid. But off of that sample was built a wide and intense production that ranks as one of the best ever turned out by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. But it wouldn't be number 2 on production alone without Mary absolutely bearing her soul. No More Drama is less a mind-blowing masterpiece and could have easily slipped into the tropes that usually surround the overwrought and the overly emotional pieces. But there's a determination that comes in Blige's performance, a confidence that frames this as both a message of self-reliance and self-assurance and a staunch reframing of one's own narrative. In recounting her own struggles with substance abuse and toxic relationships, she delivers this performance that is moving and eye-opening and would only intensify when performed live. Combining all of these pieces delivers a song that moves mountains while also, and at the same time, punching you squarely and directly in all of the feels.
Yeah, obviously I have no argument. It's at number 10 for me.
Yeah, same here.
Right on.
It is it's a song that stands out on this list, particularly because it was so devoid of powerful songs like this. I think it ranks high outside of this list too, surely, but it is a song that was necessary on this list to give it just a semblance of gravitas. And it did that in spades.
Does your number 2 track also have that in spades?
Ooh, that's a really interesting question.
What about clubs? How you on clubs?
Definitely clubs. It's literally because this song is a certified club banger, or at least it was back in its day. It's one that we've talked about already, so I won't go too much into the musical side of Missy Elliott's Work It, which I had in my number 2 song. But I will cover a little bit more of the music video because it is also a masterpiece. You have so many different scenes that are involved in this, and all of them are like David Lynchian in varying degrees. Semi-apocalyptic playground, check. Synchronized salon, check. Maybe the lobby of a parking garage, complete with the checkerboard floor for breakdancing and only breakdancing. Heaven help you if you do anything but breakdancing on that goddamn floor. Check. Also, she eats a car at one point. Missy is a 5-tool artist is what I'm trying to say. And this music video absolutely proves her superiority in the visual side of the medium.
It's not okay that you said she's a 5-tool artist, and my immediate response was to think you're 5 tools for an artist. Not okay.
I think she'd appreciate this.
And we'll have to put a pin in that conversation because I understand the reference, whether or not you realize you made a baseball reference.
Base, like the movie?
Not basketball, baseball.
Was that a different movie?
Yes. Ken Burns was not involved. A little known fact, Ken Burns spent massive time researching on the Malaka Laka Boylan's Board of Peace.
I know I started this, and I deserve everything that's happened in the last 3 minutes. I will still lodge a complaint, but I deserve what's coming. Jay, will your number 2 also elicit complaints from anyone?
I got myself with that.
Maybe. But here's the thing. So Hot and Her is basically pop rap as controlled demolition. It's simple, it's stupid, it's irresistible, and it's absolutely devastating to any room with a dance floor, even if it is checkered in a parking garage. The Neptune's production on here is all skeletal bounce and like evil little hand claps. And that's awesome because Nelly uses that as a runway for his like laid back, somewhat mush-mouthed charisma. He's not trying to be profound. He's not. He's really just trying to raise the temperature of a party by 12 degrees and make everyone make questionable decisions near a fog machine. So there are very few songs from 2002 that are this efficient. It arrives, it announces the thesis, removes several layers of clothing from the collective public consciousness, and it leaves victorious.
That was the best academic breakdown of this song I've ever heard.
Well, I had to because the song itself can't do it. It's so dumb.
It is, but also it's up there and it's too fun to not enjoy.
Right.
I have it 15. Of course, it absolutely like, and this thing came out right at the beginning of what I was when we would have started to learn what a club even was as a concept. So this is sort of like this is like associated with those first few nights of going out and pretending to be an adult.
Yeah.
So I admit there's probably also nostalgia on that too, but nothing you said was incorrect at all.
It's just so much fun. And Zach, you had a look of disbelief on your face here as I said that.
Well, you said the title early on in your workup on it, and I kept waiting for the part where you were like, and my number 2 has nothing to do with that song because it's actually this song instead. And I'm still waiting, honestly, for that moment to happen. So whenever you're ready to let us know what your number 2 is, I'm here for it.
No dice, Ashton Kutcher. Nobody's getting punked here.
Talk about something that was of its time. Holy shit. Well, we have almost breached through the tippy top of this list of this re-rank. But before we punch through, we have to dig down into the bottom, into the depths of our list. The bottom 5/10/ whatever we feel. The bottom is our domain. We just kind of go with it. Dan, we'll go ahead and keep the same order. Hit us with your bottom, however much is in your heart, man.
Sure. I forget? Do you want me to rattle off everything and then finish up with 1 to 100?
How dealer's choice. Yeah, there are no rules on the bottom of these lists.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that because I didn't rate a ton at the bottom, which is weird for me. But I ran into a thing, and maybe we'll see if you guys came up with the same idea. Is that when you got to a certain point in the year and got to the certain point, the stuff that belonged toward the bottom, there was varying levels of bad, no doubt. But the overwhelming feeling, the overwhelming trait that I would put all these songs into is just bland. If meh were a top 10 chart, these would be the songs that belong on it. So with that thought, I'll start at number 91. Toya, and I do because I didn't remember this basic and really repetitive track at all. And there's a really good reason for it. It felt way longer than 3.5 minutes, but there was absolutely no doubt that it was 223 or 43 seconds of generic. At number 92, Sean Paul and Gimme the Light. Because despite having some moving dancehall production, there was seemingly less here than most tracks on the list. I like to have more reasons for putting it down there, but as I said, like generic, it just sounded empty to my jaded ears. Speaking of dancehall, another dancehall song at number 93, this time from an alt-rock, ska, punk, rock chameleon of a band, and the track that basically heralded the end of No Doubt as we knew them, Hey Baby. Because from here, Gwen was fully solo, for better or worse, and this track was left as an odd reminder of when trying things goes wrong. Tight yet simple, its repetitiveness is what did it in for me. It is totally fine to get repetitive in a song, can absolutely work. But there has to be a destination for that song when being overly repetitive, and Hey Baby has none. Later is now. At number 94, Celine Dion and A New Day Has Come. An adjective that I would not normally think goes with a Celine Dion single, but that wholly applies here is, again, generic. The songs themselves may be standard pop fare, but she always seems to elevate it through her performance, and it's just lifeless here. I don't know how else to explain it.
Agreed.
At number 95, Truth Hurts with Addictive. A song remembered more for its massive copyright lawsuit than for being a decent R&B track. It is an odd one here because if you separate the vocals and the production, you probably have two solid songs. But when you smack them together, they just clash into an unenjoyable oddity. And we keep on rolling. How else can I describe the first track in the ass end of this countdown, thinking I was writing for a different concept, but it's okay. I still pose the question, could this song be the St. Elmo's Fire of the 2000s? To respond to that, I say, hello, my friends, we meet again. Oh yeah, My Sacrifice at number 96. And let's just put aside whatever deeper meaning Scott Stapp apparently intended here, because an uplifting message delivered in a pile of shit is still not one that I'd like to eat. If post-grunge has a reputation for being bland, boring, and the second coming of corporate rock, which we can argue about that later on a different show, My Sacrifice could be patient zero of that particular outbreak, which probably is my biggest gripe with this here track. As far as post whatever rock goes, this is the blandest bland that ever blanded. In fact, here's just a list of more ways to say bland. Boring, insipid, tedious, banal, dull, watery, white bread, wishy-washy, tame. My sacrifice.
12 out of 10. No notes.
It's all down
snapping.
here. Number 97 is more of the same, with the added benefit of having a pretty generic beat and the lyrical depth of a drained reflecting pool with an entire motorcade resting inside of it. I had to listen to B2K's 5 times, and it kind of blended into my brain's equivalent of elevator music. Also, who decided to use their kids' Simon game as a production element? Please see them out.
Yeah.
We'll keep going, because in any given year, and this is why I said, Zach, there is nowhere near enough cheese in You Got It Bad. In any given year, there are a number of diabetes-inducing love songs that make their way to the charts because, I mean, in the end, everyone has a sweet tooth to some extent. But it's the rare track that is so sugary, so schmaltzy, so over the top, that it becomes a double shot of glucagon right into the veins. And that is what we got from Steve Holy with Good Morning Beautiful, coming in at number 98. Holy was doing the predecessor of Boyfriend Country, something we've well identified as one of the most annoying subs of the genre. Holy was doing Husband Country, for those moments when you and your good lady have pulled yourselves out of the old-timey bathtubs that were for some reason just sitting in the middle of a meadow and into the suburban bedroom of that 3-bedroom ranch that y'all have shared for the past 17 years. And I'm sure that it's a sweet expression of finding the ultimate companion that has endured through trials, tribulations, 3 kids, 7 jobs, and that one time you got plastered at the neighborhood barbecue and brought up the concept of the soft dom in front of the president of the PTA. But the actual content here reads like it was written by a middle schooler, imagining what love is like in a long-term relationship. Though an actual 7th grader probably had a better shot at writing more emotionally expressive lyrics here.
So this is probably not the time to interject, but I have that song at 82, and I wrote that it's probably the blandest song on this list, so I'm with you. But then the next sentence I wrote, I forgot I wrote this. I wrote, also his name and appearance make me want to think he's singing this song to Jesus.
I thought the same thing at first. I had to like go into Genius and be like, is it a... And I still was like, is it though? Unclear.
That's the thing. Like I pulled the lyrics up because I thought we might have to discuss this.
I think he says like girl at one point, which I don't know if that contradicts it, but like,
yeah, Alanis and Ariana Grande may have gotten it right. Just saying. And Steve Holy did not get it right.
No, he did not. Unfortunately, that was the peak for me. Sorry.
Yeah,
I guess I'll take the heat for this one because it's apparently a track that is well liked and considered a turning point in the career of the artist, but it was more of a death knell of their movement to me. But NSYNC's Girlfriend was the rare miss for the Neptunes in this year. Stripped back and funky just don't seem to make basis for Timberlake and friends, at least for me. Which takes me to the bottom. And I'll admit that I had to listen to this song one more time, literally as we took air, because I could not remember a single thing about it, which keeps up the theme of this year's bottom 10, full of tracks that were devoid of pretty much everything. Song 100 comes to us from LL Cool J with Love You Better. And it's short and sweet. There's a lot of talk around this one being LL's more mature sound. And you know what that means when someone describes your sound as more mature. It means it absolutely sucks. Whatever sound he was going for, he missed. But I honestly don't know if this would hit the mark no matter who you put on this track. Like he was almost set up to fail with this single. And that he certainly did.
Yeah, number 80 for me. No arguments there. This is not the guy that I was expecting or wanting it to be on this track.
No, I have it at 77, and all I wrote was, once in a while, I think, hey, I should listen to LL Cool J, and then this plays, and I think, I'm good.
I'll do the dishes instead.
Nah, I'm all right. Never mind.
Yeah. Totally agree with most of your list too, Dan, but there is one track that stands out. We were just talking off camera real briefly during a quick break to fourth wall break here. And we were talking about the difference between like objectively ranking songs and subjectively ranking them. And if I were subjectively ranking this list, my sacrifice would absolutely be probably 2 of the top 5. It would get a couple of slots. It is a vile song. It is terrible, but it's absolutely a guilty pleasure.
It is a song that seemingly was crafted in a lab to be the montage song. It is almost as good as Eye of the Tiger or that song from the Karate Kid to be set to a montage of yes.
I thought you were going for Glory of Love by the great Peter Cetera.
No. I don't want to see that montage.
Yeah. So the highest I had from anything on your list was Addictive, Truth Hurts and Rakim. I like Rakim. So that's, for me, like that was the better part of that song. I have it at 49th, by the way. That was the highest I had of anything you said, was at 49th. And all I wrote was, this is fun, but so stupid. With 5 O's. It's so stupid.
So that was that. I feel like I peaked two entries too soon when it came to writing. But now, Zach, we got to find out where your not your peak, but your valley truly lies. That was weird. I don't want to do that again. Can we just?
Oh shit. I mean, it's fitting in this section to have the worst possible segue. So I think I'm here for it. Okay. I did not go the 10 route. I went the 5+1 route because in another weird turn of events, have another tie in my bottom 5. We will get to that in a second, right after we breeze by Lights, Camera, Action by Mr. Cheeks. And I say breeze by because this song deserves to be breezed by. Like this is rap, I guess. This is hip hop ish, but there's like no substance, no teeth. There's a decent flow, but not much else. It very much fits into like your bland motif, Dan. I think that this would be like the bland pick of my bottom 5. The other ones are not quite bland necessarily, but they have their own qualities that they bring to the table, including my tie for number 93. And just like my tie for number 10, same artist, similar sounding songs, and well deserving of their place towards the bottom of that list. That being Roll Out, My Business, and Move Bitch by Ludacris. With the caveat, again, objective versus subjective, Toxicity and Word of Mouth were probably the 2 albums that I played the most during the year of 2002. I had both of them on CD. I probably wore grooves through them. I listened to every track a million billion times, and I love these songs. I adore them, but they are dog shit, guys. Let's be real. These songs are terrible. Not even mystical or remember I-20?
Yeah. Because he came up when I listened to this song.
That's his only claim to fame, is that one shitty verse on Move Bitch. It's so bad. We stay in the hip hop realm. We're going to stay in the hip hop realm for quite a while here as we go to number 94, which is Without Me. And Without Me is absolutely graded on a curve because of tracks like Lose Yourself. Like, the same artist wrote and performed both of those songs, which is fascinating for one, but infuriating for two. It's not Eminem's worst song. There are a number of songs that could take that distinction. And the answer to that question, by the way, is asked like that. But Without Me is 100% a reminder that goofy Eminem's existence just made me frustrated that serious and good Eminem wasted his time on crap like that, when he could have been putting out something that wasn't Without Me. Number 95, I at least want to give some positivity to my number 95 song. And I will, because legitimately, this isn't even a bit. Like, legitimately, it is amazing to hear a song that unironically uses the word bodacious. You don't get that in many other tracks. You just don't. It's just, we need to use that word more in our regular vernacular. And I appreciate you, Nelly, for bringing it to our attention in Hot and Her. I don't appreciate the other words in the song, but I do appreciate that one. And I'm still waiting on your number 2, by the way, Jay.
You just number 2'd on my number 2.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, we reached the bottom. Number 96.
Wait, that joke was in the bottom?
Believe it or not, it gets worse from here. And it gets worse for a completely different reason than anything else that I talked about. Because I'm going to chat real quickly with y'all about a song that had a lot of success. This song peaked on the Hot 100 at number 28. Truly a remarkable feat in 2002 for a non-crossover country song. It won awards at the Academy of Country Music Awards, the Country Music Association Awards. Those are not necessarily all that cracked up for a popular country song from a popular country artist, but it also did win a Grammy, which does have a little bit more prestige. It would go on to be one of this artist's most popular and successful songs, perhaps his most recognizable song outside of the country music industry, and perhaps within the country music industry as well. So why is Where Were You and the World Stopped Turning all the way down at the very bottom? It's a simple answer. Because it preyed on the very, very raw emotions that so many of us had in the aftermath of 9/11 for nothing more than a fucking paycheck. It preyed on fear, on uncertainty, on doubt, and sure, it pushed units. It definitely got spins on Big 98, and that's cool. But it also opened and continued to keep open the wounds that so many people had in the wake of one of, if not the greatest tragedy that a lot of us will see in our lifetimes. But with all that said, thank Jesus and God that Alan let me know that all I need is love and faith and hope, and that I would be able to get through these turbulent times thanks to that. No, actually, it still sucked. It was still terrible. And I still get anxious thinking about that September day. I hope it was worth it, Alan. I hope it was all worth it.
No notes. I had a couple of years a little higher on my list, but I can't really remember what they were. It's already gone. Without Me, I had quite a bit higher. I had that at 23 actually, because like it is like it's his typical like I'm too edgy for radio, but I'm still making millions kind of stuff. But I don't hate the message in this song, which you like were claiming it didn't really have one, and like I kind of like it where like a little controversy in our pop music creates conversation, which is sort of the point of that song. I don't like that he made it in a very like Daniel Tosh kind of way. He's like, I'm too much for you, but like the point was still there, I think.
I could see that. I mean, it those are conversations that we had in the aftermath and that we're still having. So for that, I'll definitely give it a nod.
Just one additional note about your 100 too, because I wrote this is an absolute stream of consciousness that should not have left the brainstorming session, and I left it 90. In fact, I pushed it up so it would sit at 90 because I wanted to neither reward no roast this trauma dump of a cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that's exactly it. Like as a song, like if this is how he's truly feeling, like I would not shit on that part whatsoever. I shit on the part where this made money. That's the part where it crossed the line from like, this is just me getting my emotions on a piece of paper to like, this is me capitalizing on this shitty thing.
And there's probably a lot to be said, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's been some research done into this, and if not, maybe we're the ones to do it, where they're to actually kind of lay out how music dealt with 9/11 and how artists used that day and how to figure out how to respond to that day. And I know there's plenty of stories of ways that they were inspired by those emotions and were able to make all sort. I mean, Bruce Springsteen, The Rising comes to mind, and one way that one can interpret that, the emotions on that. And this just sort of feels like a very basic. It's not. I mean, it's to its credit, it's not about putting a boot in someone's ass. So it's not like the lowest common denominator dealing with this shit. But it's also not a very high level of trying to compartmentalize just how to actually deal with what you saw on TV. Like, I don't know how else to like, which is why I didn't want to put it in the top bottom 10, because I didn't want to stumble through this.
But I have more to say here in a little bit.
Oh, then I will.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'm so shit.
No, you're fine. I was trying not to comment during that because I'm like, I could step on myself, but there's no point.
Yeah.
Well, step away. Let us clear the stage for you.
Well, let's go back to, so I'm with Zach here. I only had 96 songs, so we'll start at 87 because I did a bottom 10 here. And I'm going to start with at 87, I have Underneath Your Clothes by Shakira. I can't quite place what the song reminds me of from the 80s, but let's start with the theme. I'm a good girl, so I deserve what's underneath your clothes. That's weird.
Doesn't that go back to the whole soft dom thing we were talking about?
Yeah, a little bit.
Of all the things I expected to be able to draw connections to on our list, that fucking wasn't one of them.
Nope. At number 88, I have Still Fly by Big Timers. It's the intersection of Outkast and Sheck Wes, and there's nothing good about that. At number 89, I have The Good Stuff by Kenny Chesney. So it starts as sort of like a nothing song about drinking above standard booze and moves quickly into a depressing diatribe about the separating asshole of life. Like cancer, death, the woman who'll never hold her daughter again, failed marriages, and the only thing that can help it is the good stuff. Actually, it should deserve a few more points for that, because drinking the good stuff.
Good stuff.
At number 90, let's talk about My Sacrifice some more. I called it Divorced Dad Rock as performed by the Muppet side characters that no one can name.
So true. So true.
Yeah. Well, let's continue down that route for a minute. How about Wasting My Time by Default at number 91? So if Nickelback ruined rock music, this is, again, I did the same thing that Dan did, where I wrote it as sort of an essay thing. And earlier I had written something about how well, I don't hate This Is How You Remind Me. It definitely ruined radio rock in perpetuity. So if Nickelback ruined rock music in perpetuity, this is perpetuity. Wasting my time by default is the perpetuity. Oh, what hell hast thou begotten? This is where we are now. Okay. Number 92, we're now in my bottom 5, so this is the fun part. At number 92, I've got One Last Breath, also by Creed. Hey, remember that time that divorced dad rock band wrote an operatic crisis of the soul and accidentally sets the whole thing on a curb? Creed aims for existential peril, but 6 feet from the edge is not exactly the Grand Canyon. It's the distance from your couch to the TV, or the amount of personal space people were begging for in 2020. The song wants badly to be a thunderstorm of anguish, but the lyrics just keep tripping over their own cargo shorts. It's begging for meaning while Scott Stapp bellows every syllable like he's trying to summon a youth pastor from a well. Before they released this song, it should have been handed to one honest teenage niece who would have stopped aggressively eye-rolling just long enough to say, Uncle Creed, this is dramatic, but also mathematically embarrassing.
I so desperately want the universe in which Scott Stapp's niece calls him Uncle Creed. I need this in my life.
I think that was my favorite thing that I wrote in this whole thing. That might be my peak.
As someone currently wearing a pair of cargo shorts, if either of you ever refer to me as Uncle Creed, we are throwing hands on sight.
Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
All right. Okay, moving on. In agreement with Dan from earlier, at number 93, I have Uh-Huh by B2K, because I don't know if you noticed this, but this song is basically the thong song wearing a fake mustache trying to sneak back into the club. I mean, not lyrically or spiritually, and not in terms of the scandalous butt fabric evangelism, but musically. That same spring-loaded early 2000s bounce, the same rubbery melodic loop, and that same sense that every vocal line is doing crunches in a shiny shirt. B2K, they hit the track with plenty of youthful polish, but the melody keeps wandering into Cisco's yard, checking the windows, and pretending it just happens to be in the neighborhood. It has this unmistakable feeling that of a producer saying, give me something like that thong song thing, but legally distinct and easier to choreograph. Fine, yes, this is where Omarion starts sharpening the tools he'll actually use later. But is basically the Kids Bop field trip version of a song that was already ridiculous enough to qualify as its own natural disaster. At number 94, let's talk about My List by Toby Keith. He presents basic emotional availability like he just discovered fire. Spend time with family, slow down, say I love you, maybe stop treating your own children like calendar conflicts with shoes. The problem is not the sentiment here, which is perfectly fine, in the same way that flossing is perfectly fine. It's the song's grand reveal that a man should occasionally prioritize the people he claims to care about, delivered with the solemnity of Moses descending from Mount Day Planner. His list absolutely sounds like he did something that his therapist made him write after 3 sessions of, and how did that make your wife feel? It's a country pop self-improvement homework set to acoustic wallpaper. It's songs for dads who need a power ballad to remind them that birthdays are not surprise audits.
Wow.
I may have spent way more time on the bottom of my list than on the top.
Understandably so. That's where the good stuff is at, after all.
Right.
Well, welcome to my world. Usually, the only note that I have, because everything else is exactly right. I actually have 2. I take it back because I had Kenny Chesney a little bit higher at like 62. Mm-hmm. And I wrote, I got some of the point where you said like, oh, maybe it does deserve a couple more points because it turns out I actually can feel things, and that was all I wrote for that song. Real bit was. We had that conversation earlier about using this list. We should separate what they should be and what we want them to be, and where you would prefer these songs and where they would actually be. And well, I can't deny that wasting my time deserves to be where it is. I combine the list because time and place. That's why it's a 13.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, truthfully, I wouldn't say I would never turn the song off. I would rarely turn the song off. All right, okay, here we go. Wait, two more. Okay, number 95. Got Like I Love You by Justin Timberlake. So this song is him still kind of wandering around outside his solo career. I mean, it is his solo career, but it's kind of wandering around outside of it, like jiggling the handle and hoping Pharrell will eventually let him in. The beat is slick enough to suggest that a star is being manufactured nearby, but JT comes in with this like seductive energy of a mall kiosk guy trying to sell you a phone case and improve your self-esteem in the same breath. It has this damp, pushy confidence, like he thinks romance is just negging with choreography. Smile more. Trust me, nobody gets you like I do. Please sign here and initial beside life-changing opportunity. It's not sexy. It's a hostage negotiation. He wants to be Prince, Michael, and 4 years into the future JT all at once. But mostly it introduces us to the Prince of Persuasia, bravely asking the musical question, what if flirting sounded like a timeshare presentation?
The Prince of Persuasia.
I love it.
That's a Bob Burgers reference.
Oh, hell yeah. Solid.
All right. Now the last one, which is, as foretold, Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning? Alan Jackson. It's a commemorative snow globe filled with room temperature gravy. You shake it, and you shake it hard enough, and all you get is a slow swirl of patriotic mush. Alan turned one of the most horrifying moments in modern American history into a sepia-toned porch sermon, complete with soft piano, vague humility, and the emotional content of a gas station magnet. The song, it keeps insisting that it has no answers, which is convenient because it also has no insight, no tension, and no reason to exist beyond converting collective trauma into a distasteful country radio keepsake. It tiptoes around grief with such reverence, the commercial calculation, that the whole thing feels more like a limited edition plate arriving just in time for Christmas. So hey, let's capitalize on tragedy, but we'll make it slow enough that everyone mistakes the cash register for a church bell.
As I'm going and deleting everything that I wrote about the song.
Delete this. When I did the thing where I closed my computer for a second, I had to reach the keyboard so that I could delete a thing that I said that was almost exactly a thing that you wrote.
Hey, great minds think alike on this podcast. Huh?
Yeah.
Alan Jackson, not a great mind.
Nope.
No. For the record, he does have another song on this list that I put at 34. Because it's just a wholesome, classic sounding country tune. It's called Drive for Daddy Dean or whatever. It's a country love song to a boat and two cars, but it's an homage to his dad being a dad.
It's an improvement.
Yeah, no.
It's a definite improvement.
Yeah. Oh, it's always fun talking about the dregs of things. But I do think we have to close out on something positive here.
Yeah, let's do that instead.
Dan, what are you putting at the top of your list?
Well, speaking of being hacky, I think I can be accused of being completely uncreative, at least here, because we've already heard from my top artist, something I usually try not to do, because again, hacky, right? That would be like saying, we're going to do a list of the top songs from the 1980s and then just writing out the track listings for 1999, Purple Rain, Around the World in a Day, Parade, Sign of the Times, and Love Sexy, but we would never hammer a joke home that hard. Not here on the Fairly KickAss podcast. But instead, for a real number one, we just let go for a timeless party jam and bounce right into every unforgettable hook. And as Jay said a little bit ago, this is grown folks club music that we will all be jamming to in the nursing home. The best song, 2002, is Family Affair from Mary J. Blige.
And I know that the live version of it is what put it up here for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, not supposed to do that.
No.
But
it's hard to get it out of your head once you've heard it.
It really is. It really is. Because you kind of go, well, yeah, I know I made a rule about it, but like this one time, like I'm sure I can break that rule, right?
Right.
Along with the other rule I broke, and that other one.
Here's the thing about, I would say 50% of the time we break that rule, it's for Mary J. Blige.
So far,
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
That's true. That's actually true.
Right? Yeah, no,
I think
no.
we broke it once for Kelly Clarkson, but it was a whole different story.
Not for the Kelly Clarkson tune that's on this chart.
No. Much later.
Yeah. That's not one of her best.
It was absolutely a phase, Mom.
How about you, Zach?
So, number one is going to be an artist that is very similar and somewhat of a song that's very similar to my number 5, which was More Than a Woman by Aaliyah. Two artists that were both very young, getting their starts in the music industry, but both with a maturity and a gravity well beyond their years. In this case, it is not Aaliyah, but it is another A named artist, specifically Alicia Keys with A Woman's Worth. In this case, maturity is not the maturity where it's like, you know, what you had mentioned, that it's just boring, it's bad. This is my nice way of saying that like you've lost a step in the industry. This is the reverse of that. This is basically saying like you should not be able to perform a song with so much nuance, with so much emotion, and that just sounds just audibly so incredibly rich and warm and good at the age of 20. I believe that Alicia was 20 when Songs in A Minor, the debut album in which the song was released. I would imagine the recording possibly even 19. You know, a tremendous talent, still to this day, clearly a tremendous talent, but she walked in the door as a tremendous talent. And, you know, this was not the big hit. That was, of course, Fallen, which is also a tremendous song. But I feel like A Woman's Worth is perhaps a little more of a true emotional song with a very strong message to it. Knowing what we know now about Alicia Keys, none of this is a surprise, of course, but certainly when this album and when this track came out, it was absolutely a breath of fresh air, and one that certainly stands the test of time and still sounds just as great today as it did, 25 years ago. Oh,
Good
gross.
Lord. Oh, that was depressing, that thing you just said.
Yeah, we'll edit that out, Nikki, please. We'll cut that.
But more to the point, no notes on that. I have it at 26, but mostly because in her catalog, like I think it was grading her against her.
Yeah.
Right. And in her catalog, for me, it doesn't rank very high. But I mean, yeah, everything you said is true. Like she's a superstar and absolutely deserves to be there in that spot.
Yeah, it's so hard not to do that when you have an artist of that caliber. You know, I'm guilty of it. You have a certain expectation of that artist, and I try to get myself out of that. And I think sometimes maybe that is like a rubber banding the other way, where I'm maybe ranking artists too high based on what my expectation is of them as an artist. But in this case, I feel like it certainly checked the boxes to be in that top slot.
Yeah, there may be an episode in there somewhere about artist reality check. I don't know how to quite phrase that. Is that a vibes episode where we just kind of chat about artists that we've overestimated / underestimated because of who they are, or tracks that we've bumped higher because of that? I don't know. That's an interesting thought.
I like it. I like it a lot. I am writing it down on our list.
Because I know I do it every bit as much. And like I said, like in this moment here, like on this chart, Alicia Keys, you have her at number 1 and I have her at number 26, but I don't have any disagreement with what you said. But because I'm comparing her to her, I had her a little bit lower.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's, I think that's one of the more fascinating, like logistic things of these lists, that like, it's never, as much as we try to say it is, as much as we want it to be, it's never completely in a vacuum.
No.
When you have 3 humans, 3 assholes at that are at the helm, like there certainly is going to be deviation from that expectation.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably true for my number 1 as well.
Oh yeah. Do tell.
Weirdly enough. So I put this song here because it takes all of nu metal's most melodramatic ingredients rap verses, churning guitars, piano gloom, and enormous self-pity, and refines it into a perfect pop machine. I have In the End by Linkin Park at number 1. It's wounded, it's theatrical, instantly recognizable, and completely shameless in the best possible way. Chester turns teenage despair into a stadium-sized confession, and Mike he gives the song just enough rhythmic control to keep it from floating away into pure angst fog. It's the rare song that feels both embarrassingly sincere and genuinely great.
It's the call and response just makes it.
Yeah.
Just truly makes it.
Absolutely nothing to add because it's 12 for me.
Yeah.
It all fits up there.
Which is interesting, like seeing something from Mike Shinoda talking about the song where he says, quote, I knew I wanted to do the back and forth between singing and rapping, but I didn't know it would become the song. So apparently that was not the original plan, but, you know, obviously it morphed into what it was. And thank goodness the band realized what they had in this track and in subsequent tracks that would also feature, you know, some of the same rhythm and meter and, you know, call and response.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you do what's best for the song that's in front of you. And
For sure.
in their case, that does eventually lead to a lot of samey stuff. I'm not saying that in a negative way. That's not a denigration of any kind. But, I mean, when it works, it works. And this song just kills it.
100%. In spades.
Right on.
That's a wrap. This one is fit to print, as they say. I don't think they say that anymore. I don't think they've said that since like the 30s.
I bet if you ask a teenager, they don't know what print media is.
They would have no idea.
That's fair. It's like a papery blog.
These darn kids.
They used to be 2 for a penny, kids. Now you can't even find them. You know what you can find?
Pennies. Or pennies.
Oh, shit. I guess you can't find those either.
What can we find, Zach?
the moment of the show where it becomes Blue's Clues. At Fairly KickAss on Instagram, Blue Sky Threads, and TikTok. Hit us up. Let us know, again, why are you here? What are you doing? Why are you listening? But seriously, let us know what you thought of the episode. If you thought that our rankings were spot on, if you would put other songs higher or lower. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to talk about all 100 songs, even though we did rank them all. We did not talk about them all. But if there is one that we didn't chat about that you thought should have made the top or the bottom of the list, please let us know. fairlykickass@gmail.com for all of your email correspondence. Talk to us however you want. Social media is great. Email is great. Whatever. If you see us walking down the street and you recognize us, then I'm probably calling the police because there's no reason that you should. But, you know, the other things are awesome. fairlykickass.com for your ride-along playlist and for whatever we end up doing with it in the very near future. Deliberations continue on that front. Sorry, I was trying to do my Law and Order voice. And I clearly do not have a Law and Order voice. So I'm just going to shelve that one away and instead tell y'all in my normal voice about the Fairly Kick-Ass podcast, where you can find anywhere where you get your podcasts from. Just search for us. If you don't find us, let us know through all the avenues that we just discussed, and we will make sure to get on your podcast provider of choice so you can listen to us anywhere you go, in the car, in the shower, at the grocery store, right after you listen to The Middle, which is almost always going to be playing there. Wherever you get it, wherever you're at, we're there with you. And with that unexpected sting of the episode, do you guys have anything to add before we bid everyone adieu?
Bodacious.
Oh, fucking dacious. Thank you, Nelly. Your only contribution to the world of music.